makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part.
Yesterday, the YouTube channel of Novara Media, a very well-known British left-wing site, was deleted unexpectedly. And this prompted a massive outcry, both by supporters of Novara as well as, incredibly enough, a lot of its opponents. And, well, I don't know how long it took while it was down, but eventually YouTube that same day reinstated it and apologized, alleging that it was a mistake. So let's see exactly what happened here. So that was the statement made by Novara this morning. The Novara Media YouTube channel was deleted without warning or explanation. Novara Media is among the top 50 most watched news and politics channels in the UK. We play an important public service role and regularly feature interviews with politicians, human rights campaigners, scientists, and activists from around the world. We are also regulated by Impress in the UK. We call on YouTube to immediately reinstate our account. Novara Media is basically, a Corbyn offshoot. It's the media arm of the Corbyn support base of the Labour Party, so they're very left-wing. Definitely not much fans of the current Labour leadership, with very good reason. And I really like them. I think they're, honestly, if you have to follow one YouTube channel, one UK politics channel on YouTube, I would strongly recommend it be Novara Media. They're really good stuff. And, well, after they reinstated it, they deleted without warning or explanation following a deluge support from across the political spectrum. The channel has now been reinstated. We are now demanding a step-by-step explanation as to how this happened. And here's the thing. YouTube never will give that explanation. And here was their rather measly reply to the original statement, which is basically just, like a corporate PR exercise. That's how it's written. You can tell this isn't like an actual human being, but rather a script that is tweeted every time they do this. With the 400 hours of video uploaded every minute to YouTube, we count on our community members to know our community guidelines and to flag content we believe violates them. We review all flagged content quickly, and if we find that a video does violate the guidelines, we remove it. We also have a team that is dedicated to identifying and removing spam from YouTube. Occasionally, a video flagged by users or identified by our spam team is mistakenly taken down. When this is brought to our attention, we review the content and take appropriate action, including restoring videos or channels that had been removed. So this is all, fine and dandy if it was just a video, but they removed the entire channel. So this must have been some really egregious violation of their community standards that they spotted, which is rather unlikely from a channel like Novara, which isn't promoting, anti-vaccine ideas or, calling for the murder of politicians. I don't know. So, what's most egregious about YouTube is the lack of transparency. The inability of them to actually tell you, hey, this is what we spotted accidentally, and maybe we're gonna flag that as something that our algorithm needs to be modified so that it doesn't happen again. They never say that. They don't give a single hint. And being Novara a relatively large channel, well, they can count on a massive base of support on people, on Twitter, who will be harassing YouTube so that they pay attention to this. When I got a warning for my channel, when I debunked anti-vax claims on a Kim Iverson video, I had my appeal reviewed by the very same algorithm that wrongly flagged it. So that's a luxury that small content creators just don't get, but a site like Novara will have. So there's much less risk for a big site to be taken down. But a site like mine could be taken down tomorrow and no one's going to notice. Anyway, what I find interesting in this story is kind of the reaction from parts of the UK political news spectrum. And it turns out that a lot of the British far right was strongly in support of Novara for obvious reasons, because they stand most to lose from YouTube censoring YouTube channels, because obviously they have much more controversial content that would make them more suitable for being taken down. So there were tweets by, I don't know who Harry Cole is. It's like, they're just the worst. But that's why you need to hear what they think. YouTube totally in the wrong here. This is the accurate summation of what really happened. There's Lawrence Fox. He's he's total right-wing nutter. This is absolutely wrong. Even I profoundly disagree with almost everything Novara Media say. Censorship is wrong. You know, they're doing it not out of solidarity. They're doing it to save their own asses. That's a fact. David Davis, another right-wing MP. Yeah, but who apparently was, I guess, censored last week. They were wrong. Take down Novara's channel. Free speech must be protected. Yada, yada, yada. And Julia Hartley Brewer, a very far-right talk show host. This is outrageous, YouTube, but don't have to agree with anything Novara says to support their right to say it in a free country. Big tech giants in California should not decide what voices we can or cannot hear. So, yeah, this is, like I said, this is the low-hanging fruit, because obviously defending the free speech of Novara benefits them, because then they can ride on, you know, if YouTube stops censoring channels, then their channels won't get censored either, and even more hateful channels also will get a free pass. The problem with YouTube is not so much that there is censorship, it's just the lack of transparency. I said this in a video quite recently, I forget in which one, but I'm going to repeat it again. The problem is not censorship. We censor our speech all the time, offline. There are laws against hate speech, but the laws are very clear. They say exactly what you're allowed to say and what you're not, or rather, what you're not allowed to say. And more importantly, there is an appeals process through the justice system if you feel you have been wronged. So, in the online sphere, none of this exists, because sites like YouTube are basically like Judge Dredd. Judge, jury, and executioner, all in one. They decide. You have no say in any of this process. There is no legitimate appeals process, because the very same algorithm that might strike your channel down is the one that's going to review your freaking claim. And the only thing that you can hope for is that you're a big enough channel that you're going to get a lot of public support on Twitter and other sites. That's really your only hope. And that's the problem with online censorship. It's not the censorship part. It's who's doing it and what rights you have as a user in what is essentially a public forum. Twitter is a public forum. Public information is presented through YouTube. So it matters. It definitely matters. But I disagree. I disagree with the with, you know, let's not censor anything at all, you know, absolute free speech, because you know how that's going to end. And there's already enough hate speech online. Anyway, so I would say, I guess, kudos to the right, to the far right, for defending Novara. Again, this is the low-hanging fruit. Sadly, they don't care about free speech when it comes to other things, like, for example, critical race theory bans. So there is an element of hypocrisy, right? Like, the only reason they're protecting this free speech is because they stand more to lose from it. But what I found also very interesting is that there was not a peep from the moderate side of the Labour Party, the Starmerite side of the Labour Party. I did not hear any, you know, Starmerite / Blairite Labour MPs or Labour public figures call, you know, tweet or say something in support of Novara. complete silence from the center of the party. And that's kind of shameful. That really, again, goes to show that the leadership of the Labour Party is more interested in fighting the left than they are fighting the right. And here's an article from the National. So they quote some comments from a couple of Labour MPs, but here's like Bel Ribeiro Addy is super left wing. She's like I think she's an open socialist. Richard Bergen is ex shadow cabinet minister under Corbyn. So this is the left of the party that have come out in defense of Novara. But yeah, the centrist side, complete silence. And instead you get support from freaking Spiked. Spiked is like the most right-wing, one of the most right-wing sites in Britain. And even they're defending Novara Media. Corbynista YouTube channel Novara Media has been deleted in what looks to be the latest example of big tech extending its censorship writ over UK political decision. When even Spiked defends you, but a segment of your own party, because ultimately, no matter how much Novara criticizes Starmer and criticizes the Blairite wing of the party, they are Labour supporters. They will vote Labour in an election. They will support Labour. They will encourage their viewers to vote Labour. They're on your side. But the centrists do not see them as their side. And they spend more time fighting people like Novara than they do the right, which instead they try and appease all the time. It's the same thing as what the Democrats do. So, yeah, what a, I would say, sad state of affairs. Thankfully, the channel was reinstated. But still, it really, it's sad. It's sad. As a leftist, you have to work on the assumption that you will get no support whatsoever from the moderates in your own party. That's, I think, the biggest lesson of electoral politics from the Bernie Sanders and Jeremy Corbyn era. You're on your own, kid. And you better shed the pretense that they're on your side. Because they're not. And it's really fucking sad and really fucking despicable that you can count on the support on sites like friggin' Spiked or people like Lawrence Fox on an issue like this than from the same people on your party. But anyway, on that note, if you like this video, please give it a like, please give it a share, and most importantly, please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time.